It's 2 in the morning, you're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, and some small, cold part of you is already certain that something inside you is broken. You're wrong. Millions of people wake at this exact hour and think this exact thought, and a 300-year-old court record is about to prove every one of them wrong. But first, you do what we all do. You reach for the phone and type it into the glowing rectangle. Why do I keep waking up at night? How do I fall back asleep fast? And the internet hands you a diagnosis: insomnia, anxiety, poor sleep hygiene. One more thing about your body that has quietly failed you. But consider something tonight. What if that 2 a.m. wakefulness isn't a malfunction at all, but a memory? An old, deep echo of a way of sleeping every one of your ancestors would have recognized instantly. A rhythm so ordinary they never even gave it a name because everybody did it. There's a secret hiding in old diaries, doctors' notebooks, and the yellowed pages of 17th century court records. A practice so common it shaped how people slept for thousands of years, and then, in a few generations, we forgot it so completely that when it happens to us now, we call a doctor. Tonight we remember it. Go back, before the smartphone, the office, the factory whistle, the electric bulb. Back to a night lit only by fire and moon. For most of human history, people didn't sleep the way you've been told to. They didn't switch off for 8 uninterrupted hours and wake at dawn. That idea, one solid block of sleep, is astonishingly new, younger than the steam engine. They slept in 2 pieces. A couple of hours after dark, you'd fall into what people literally called your first sleep, 3 or 4 hours, deep. And then, with no alarm, you'd wake. Not groggily, not in a panic. You'd surface into a quiet, wakeful hour or 2 in the dead of night, then sink back into your second sleep until morning. First sleep, the watch. Second sleep, the shape of a normal night. Here's where the science catches up with the history. We know what your body does in that middle hour thanks largely to a psychiatrist at America's National Institute of Mental Health, Thomas Wehr. We'll come back to his experiment because it's the twist of this whole story. But here's the piece that matters now. During that waking, your pituitary gland releases a steady flow of a hormone called prolactin. Prolactin is the hormone of stillness, the same chemical that floods a resting, nursing mother, the same one behind that drifting, dreamy state in the last moments before sleep takes you. In the most literal sense, it is the feeling of peace. And your ancestors bathed in it, an hour, sometimes 2, every single night. They weren't fighting to get back to sleep. They were floating in the exact calm we now pay apps and retreats to reach for 20 minutes. They got it for free, in the middle of the night. Now look at us. We wake at the same hour. Your body still runs the old program. That machinery never left. But instead of floating, we panic. We grab the phone. We flood a brain reaching for peace with alerts, arguments and blue light that screams daytime. Same wakefulness, same ancient hour. Your ancestors called it the watch and treated it as a gift. We call it insomnia and treat it as a threat. The biology didn't change, only the story we tell about it. So if half the world was awake for an hour every night for thousands of years, what did they do with it? The answer comes from a historian named A. Roger Ekirch of Virginia Tech, who spent 16 years in old documents and uncovered this whole forgotten world. He found over 500 references to segmented sleep in diaries, medical books, poetry, and criminal court records. His book, At Day's Close, is where most of tonight comes from. And what people did was everything. First, the one that surprises people most, they socialized. Ekirch found people rising in the small hours to sit and talk, to visit a neighbour, to share the last of a fire or the day's gossip. Whole communities had a quiet second social life happening while we assume everyone was unconscious. A version of meeting up with friends at 1 in the morning, just an ordinary part of being alive. Second, they worked, gently. This was the hour for small chores: stir the embers, bank the fire, spin wool, check the livestock by moonlight. Nothing urgent, just the soft tasks of a household, done by candlelight while the world dreamed. One French physician of the 1500s, Laurent Joubert, noted rather cheerfully that couples often found the hour after first sleep the sweetest time to simply be close. The watch, it turns out, was good for a marriage. And third, the one closest to my heart, they thought. That silent, prolactin soft hour with the household asleep and nothing asked of you was extraordinary for the mind. People prayed. There were prayer manuals printed just for the hours between sleeps. They reflected on the dreams they'd just surfaced from. They wrote, composed, untangled the problems the loud day had knotted up. It was the original quiet time. No demands, no daylight, no one else. Just you, a candle, and a mind rested once and not yet ready to sleep again. And the mind at 2 a.m. when it isn't afraid is a mind that creates. So if this was so natural, so universal, so old, so good for us, where did the watch go? The first crack came from light itself. A second historian, Craig Kozlowski of the University of Illinois, traces in Evening's Empire how, from the 1660s, European cities began lighting their streets at night. He calls it nocturnalization, the slow conquest of the dark. Night stopped being a wall you hid behind until dawn and became usable, social, commercial. And once the night became productive, that soft, purposeless middle hour started to look like a problem. Then came the real thief, the Industrial Revolution and its brilliant, terrible child, the electric light bulb. The factory didn't care about your first sleep or your second sleep. It cared about the shift, bodies at the gate at a fixed hour, packed into as few hours of the night as efficiency allowed. And the bulb let the useful day stretch deep into what had always been sleeping time. So the message went out: consolidate, one clean block, 8 hours all together. Waking in the night went from normal to wasteful to wrong. And here's the twist that ties it together. The word insomnia, a widespread affliction, a thing you suffer from, barely existed before the modern era. You can't lie awake wrongly until someone convinces you you're supposed to be unconscious the whole night through. We didn't discover insomnia. We manufactured it. We took a normal, ancient, healthy rhythm, called it a disease, and sold the cure. The wakefulness was always there. All we added was the fear. Now, you might think this is all history, old diaries, old habits. Maybe our bodies really have moved on. So let's finish with the proof. Back to Thomas Wehr. In the early 1990s, Wehr ran an experiment of beautiful simplicity. For a full month, he took away his volunteers' artificial light. 14 hours of darkness every night, the length of a natural winter night, the kind every human before the bulb would have known. No screens, no lamps, just dark. And within weeks, something remarkable happened. Left in the dark, the volunteers' sleep quietly broke in two. Not because anyone told them to. Their bodies drifted back into the old pattern on their own. A first sleep, a long, calm waking of 1 to 3 hours. Then a second sleep. The exact rhythm Ekirch found in 500-year-old diaries reassembled itself from scratch in modern people in weeks. The program was never deleted, only buried under a century of electric light. Take the light away, and there it is again. So here's what I want you to take into the dark tonight. When you wake at 2 a.m., and you will, you are not broken, not sick, not failing at sleep. Your body is running a program older than farming, older than writing, doing exactly what it was built to do. You're not an insomniac. You're an ancestor, briefly, doing the most natural thing in the world. The only thing wrong is the story you were handed, the one that says this hour is your enemy. It was never your enemy, it was always yours. So tonight, if you wake in that quiet hour, don't reach for the glowing rectangle. Don't feed a peaceful brain a screen full of noise. Reach for the other thing, the sketchbook, the notebook, the half-finished thought you never have time for in the loud, crowded day. The watch belonged to poets and philosophers, to tired parents and quiet farmers for thousands of years. It belongs to you now. So next time you're up at 2 a.m., don't scroll. Create. Your ancestors are wide awake, right there beside you.